Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to the 9/11 meeting of the Richmond Parks and Recreation Board. Called meeting to order. The mission of the Richmond Parks and Recreation Board provides for the positive development and well-being of the Richmond community through the provision of parks, greenways, trails, and recreational programming and facilities while working in cooperation with other service providers and partners in the community to maximize all available resources. No guests? No amendments? I'm sorry, item B. Need to amend item B.
Include it,
I'm sorry?
to include item B.
To include item B. Accept a motion to approve the
So moved.
addition of item B.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes. Approval for the August 14 minutes. Everybody read them? Like them? Want to have approval for them?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Park Superintendent report.
I have a little video to play of some of the things and projects that we've been doing this month for you. Some of it is kind of not in order because you know how videos do. But I will draw your attention to the Middle Fork restroom. You'll see some of the pictures that are before and afters, and you can kind of see what they've been working on. There's also some pictures from today's ceremony down at Veterans Park. You'll also see that we had a industrial softball championship where Christy gave out popcorn, so that's on there as well as some golf events and some other golf projects that we've been doing. So I will go ahead and play that for you. And also some gorge projects. As you can see, the gorge is really shaping up. There's golf. That was a before picture from the Middle Fork bathroom. Had to replace an entire wall. Replace the roof with metal. Installed some trail signs. Removed invasive species. Then we did a trail tour with all the department heads and the mayor. This past Monday. I was through Middle Fork and also Springwood. There's the banquet room all set up for the ladies golf tournament just last week. We had a really great time out at the golf course. Also saved a dog that was trapped up on the Glen Miller playground. We got new trailers. That was at our sock hop and shop. Popcorn. Then we did a tribute at the senior center. That was the ceremony today. So just wanted to kind of showcase all the things that we did this month. There's a ton more, but I just wanted to highlight some of the major things that we've been working on.
Any questions for Denise?
Very good.
Good.
And just wanted to kind of update you on some things on the golf course side of things. I know Wes really wanted to be here, but this is the last night of the Thursday Night League, and we've also got National Trail Boys out and the girls match on the front nine. So the senior nights in the banquet room. So there's a lot going on tonight at Highland. We've had a lot of revenue in the last month, which is going to be very helpful in that budget that you see in front of you. And then we also are going to be sending samples to Purdue for number 4 green. That looks like it's kind of checking out, but obviously with the way that the weather is right now, we just want to see what that soil is looking like. We had most of the greens verticut. just the last couple days, and there was a video on there for that. And all the greens right now, the heads are working and talking to the computer for the automatic use, so that's always a good thing. The tee boxes are also working and talking to the computer. That's a good thing. And we have back from popular demand night golf this Saturday, and they're having a best looking cart parade competition.
Let's look at what?
Cart parade. So that's really exciting. One of the things I did want to draw your attention to is we do have Dawn coming out from Automatic Irrigation on Tuesday at 9 a.m. If anyone who wants to join us, there's a control panel issue. It blew. It also had us 2 lines pressurized, and so we've been working hard on that. You saw some of that in the video. That's what we had to do to really, our techs went out, we dug up those lines, replaced those lines, and that was on, I believe, 11 and a couple more. But the 8, thank you, Mike. And so we are really concerned about this control panel and what that's going to cost. We'll know more on Tuesday at 9 a.m. when we meet with Automatic Irrigation. So the control panel is very old, and the replacement of it is going to be pretty costly. So we don't know what that's going to look like, and so we'll let the board know after we know.
Irrigation system at the golf course is obviously in need of some service over time,
Yes.
because we've been Band-Aiding it
Yes.
like crazy.
Uh-huh.
What's the long-term plan at this point?
Well, I would like to say that there's a long-term plan involved with an aging irrigation system, but we don't necessarily have a long-term plan. Right now, we're limping along as we can. Our hopes, honestly, is to be able to enact a food and beverage tax, to be able to control these types of costs.
I know
I mean, when there's not enough taxes that come in and not enough revenue that comes in, there's no way to pay for these kinds of things.
something's got to come up.
Something has to give. And so there,
But I did notice that we are looking at some investment in the clubhouse. Is that-
I mean, that would also be
That's
a,
a plan, future plan.
Future plan.
We've got that actually identified as an option.
right, along with the irrigation. So those things are in our master plan. So in our master plan, if you talk about long-term plan in terms of a 10-year plan, those things are in our plan. In how to fund them, you know, that has to be additional revenue coming in or some type of funding source other than tax dollars. So, you know, from the actual park fund or through the non-reverting fund. So we have to figure out what does that look like. But again, the long-term plan is to fix those and to, you know, modernize the irrigation system and the clubhouse in some way. That's the 10-year plan. It's just how do we fix that and how do we do that with funding that's not there. So we have to find that funding and figure that out.
Let's work together to make that happen.
Absolutely. Any other questions?
Thanks. Jim, did you want to make a report?
Reports in your packet, so if you have any questions, I'll feel free to answer them. But just a couple of things I want to highlight is we're in the process of getting the maintenance yard cleared out, getting ready for the demolition and the new storage building that will be started construction on October 1st. And the Reservoir Service Center will be closing for the season here on Tuesday, September 30th. You have any questions of my report?
One question, Jim. It's not really a question, it's kind of a statement of interest. We had our butterfly release at the Rose Garden this past week, and I noticed that someone honored you on that.
Yeah, I
in
saw that too,
process,
yes.
which well-deserved for a lot of years of hard work with the
thank
park
you,
department.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was an honor,
How many years?
a lot.
33.
Plus 33.
30.
Yeah, who's counting, you know?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Financials.
I did. Is this the budget?
That's the budget.
Okay,
We're talking
never
about the
mind.
financials. Okay,
I'll wait till we get to the budget.
all right.
I did have, of course, I always have a financial question for some reason. Obviously, from an expense standpoint, we're right on target. We're right at 2/3 through August for the year at 67%, which is great. So we're, meeting our budget expenses, which is good. Obviously, our revenue at 38% doesn't match up at this point. Now, it's a matter of timing. I'm looking at the general account, And we obviously have sources of cash or money to pay our bills because of that difference. Obviously, it's not based on our income to date. Where does that come from? Where does that difference come from on a operational basis for the year?
I know a lot of it'll come from cabin and shelter rentals. We still have the rest of the year for those coming.
No, that's not my question, I'm sorry. The
So-
fact that we have a difference, do you?
Yes, so it, and I understand what you're saying. We only have received about half, less than half of our property tax installment.
Okay.
And the rest of the installment is coming at the end of the year. We usually
And I-
expect it.
And I understand that.
Yeah.
My question is, we still have bills to pay.
Yes.
So where's that coming from? Is there a general?
So when we
city
budget,
account?
so you budget according to what you expend, right? And so the money is there to actually pay those bills because you've budgeted it.
Okay,
So we don't have to wait till it,
I know.
Till it actually
But it
comes in.
can't be from our sources. It has to be from another source, income source.
So that's why you have a cash balance that you have. And it'll make more sense when you look at the cash flow report. And it shows that, you have a certain amount of cash balance that you would have to pull from if you did not have the amount that you needed in your revenues that would come in. So if you're short on your property taxes, right? Or the amount that would need to come in from your personal services or whatnot,
Sure.
then the
All
cash
the-
balance has to
yeah.
pull into it. So that's why you budget accordingly on what you're going to receive, and you have to be right on with that. And if there's any changes to that, when you get the 782 notice that comes in, you have to make those changes accordingly so that you know what you can expend. So there's a whole process involved that the controller has to do, and she works really hard at it. So then we work together to make those things happen along these lines and work with Emma to make sure that we're expending what we said we're going to expend. and
Which
that-
we're doing,
Absolutely.
right on target.
Correct,
which
and that's what the bottom line has to entail. So when we say we're gonna use this much in electric, we have to use that much in electric. And if we need more, and there's not more to get, we have to do an additional appropriation. And with this fund, we have to go to council. Now, if it's with a non-reverting account, and we needed more money to go into our cash balance, we would come to this body and ask for an additional appropriation. Does that make sense?
No, not entirely. I'll be honest with you.
Magic
I'm not fully understanding
Government
the accounting
accounting,
system
yes.
for
Yeah,
the
and
park department in Richmond
Right.
City.
government accounting can be a little tricky. And is there another way that you would like to explain it, Tracy, other than how I'm explaining it? Okay, perfect.
Well, without me taking up your day, I mean,
fine.
we've got limited
Yeah.
time, but there's, I,
Ask your question.
Somebody to come to my office and I'll be happy to sit down.
and maybe that would be the right thing for
Yeah, and I
Matt to
think
do.
that, we always, this is why I did give you these two papers, because Baker Tilly does do a estimate for us and how we are able to estimate 2025 and 2026. And this is where the numbers actually come from. So they estimate based on what their projections are for what our property taxes are gonna come in at, and then what the circuit breakers are gonna come in at. When there are any changes, we have to make those determinations, and we have to make sure that we're doing those adjustments. So obviously, then that gets us down to a net property tax amount.
So your responsibility is the expense side, to ensure that the expense side is per the budget.
For sure, and
Yeah.
Emma's as well. So
Right.
she's
And-
got my other hand in
I
it.
do a lot
Right,
of the
and you
day-to-day.
have limited control of the other side.
In terms of property tax, for sure, yeah.
I mean, and the allocation that you're get within a time frame that's, that's evenly distributed. It's not. It's a little here, a little there.
No, it's all comes at the first of the year. And then it all comes at once, but then, the installment comes,
Yeah, we're not
Twice.
talking this,
okay.
I'm not getting it. I gotta come see that lady
Okay.
at some point.
So-
I'm sorry, Denise, I don't.
That's all right, that's all right, it's okay. But there's one installment of property taxes that come at the beginning and another installment of property taxes that come towards the end of the year. So
Okay.
then it matches up at the end of the year and firms up. And
Okay.
you'll see that.
Okay,
But the only reason why the circuit breaker is in here really is to show the amount of taxes that we do not receive. And it kind of gets a little messy, I believe, because, the property tax number, while it says 3.8 or gives you a number on that sheet there on it's very misleading. And so it does get very confusing because we should have, a certain amount of property tax, unfortunately, or I guess maybe not unfortunately for some people, but there's a circuit breaker tax that then obviously takes out some of those taxes for us. And then we've got an SB1 shortfall that we have to then account for. So we can go through that all in the budget, but that's money that we do not now receive. Now, when I was here back a long time ago, before, previous 2009, that was prior to any tax, breaker credits. And so the funding we had that $1.2 million in our park system. So I remember those glory days, So it's very hard for me sometimes to sit here and see that 1.2 million that we don't receive. But, because I know what the park looked like
yeah,
in that time frame.
Yeah.
And so, but we're doing our best.
I'm
and
sure you
For
are.
sure. And so it is, and I know that, we're trying our hardest to find other resources to make up for some of those funds that we don't have. But yeah,
yeah, we're working on it.
absolutely.
Come and see it.
Okay, any other question on financials? We can answer.
Don't think so. Anything for Wes or from Wes?
He was very happy with his numbers this month, and so were we. We're very excited. We hope that he has another month like this in October. September and October. I mean, this was a great cash month. We had the city, we had the IU East Invitational. We're very happy that we can have those events. We had just a long list of events, and you can see those dates here for September as well. So, I mean, we just have everything happening there at the golf course, which obviously we're very thrilled that people want to play at Highland. So things are happening. We really appreciate people utilizing the course. We want to make sure that it looks the best that it can, and we're working on that. So it's not gonna happen overnight, but we will continue to make sure that we're going where we need to go.
Okay. Nothing for the senior center?
Becky was not able to be here. She had 2 people off, so she was running everything today.
Farmers market?
And Farmers Market's been doing really well too. We've had a lot of events lately, and so that's been really great. Lots of fun themes and exciting stuff. We had a fun dog night, and that was really well attended. Hill's Pet Nutrition came out and gave out free free things, and it was really great. So really happy about that and very excited that we can have those special nights. So Farmers Market's been doing a great job.
Community rec.
We've got Christy here who's going to give us a little bit of a update and a JUCO wrap-up report. We always love to hear what's going on and how JUCO did. So thank you, Christy.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for having me. So we'll start with our JUCO report, which I believe Denise has linked there, so you are welcome to scroll through, but I will just hit on some of the high points. We had a really great summer with JUCO. This was my second summer running the camp, and so a lot was learned in the first year that we were able to then apply in the second year. As far as staffing goes, which I don't believe is in here, but we did have the addition of a JUCO coordinator this summer, Courtney Collins. She was a returning JUCO site leader who had been with us for a number of years. She did a fantastic job helping keep camp running on a day-to-day basis, running supplies out to the different site locations, helping with some of our special event dates, building more special things into the camp. So that was a really great addition to the camp this summer, and one that I know when she left at the end, she was saying she was excited to come back next year. So we employed a staff of 20 site leaders and counselors. So just to hit on the high points, so the first part of JUCO ran from June 2nd through July 11th, and we again operated 4 site locations, Vale Elementary School and Springwood Park in the morning, and Glen Miller Park and Mary Scott Park in the afternoons. This first part of camp is for our campers going into grades 1 through 6 in the fall. After that, we took a 1-week break from camp, and then we went straight into our Little JUCO and JUCO Rocks camps. So Little JUCO, again, was for ages 3 to 5. We did a morning session at Springwood Park, and then our afternoon session at Mary Scott Park. And simultaneously ran our JUCO Rocks camp, which is our all abilities camp for grades 1 through 9 at Clear Creek, utilizing the sensory playground. And one change for this year was we turned JUCO Rocks into a 2-week program. It had previously just been a 1-week program, but after building on the success from 2024, we maxed out our capacity, and between our staff as well as the parents and the campers, they all asked for that to be a 2-week camp. So we were able to do that, and it was really successful this year. Of course, we continue to partner with and appreciate our partnerships with Richmond schools, who provide us with use of the Vale Elementary School for the morning camp. We also partnered with Joseph Moore Museum, Hayes Arboretum, the Wayne County 4-H Fair and Fairgrounds, and we again were able to utilize the free lunch program through the USDA that offers free lunches to all of our campers each day of camp. So we've got some fun pictures included in here. Of course, our camp days were full of arts and crafts and games. We took the kids to the pool twice a week, and then we did field trips every Friday that didn't fall on a holiday. We did have the 4th of July that fell on a Friday this year, so that changed our field trip schedule just slightly. But the total, we enrolled 313 kids in JUCO, in the first part of JUCO. Glen Miller and Springwood site locations each had 98 and 88 campers registered respectively, and Vale Elementary School had 32 with Mary Scott at 95. So while we're still looking to grow our Vale camper registration, that number has doubled in the last 2 years. And the great part of that is we consistently saw about 15 to 20 campers each day, which is a growth. And in previous years, I was told that there were days we only had a handful. So we're happy to see those kids coming back each day and having fun. We enrolled a total of 85 kids in our little JUCO camp, and both site locations were nearly full. And then JUCO Rocks, we enrolled 17 kids, which is the largest number of kids that we've been able to enroll in that camp since I've been here. So total, we enrolled over 400 kids. That's 400 families that we were able to serve and provide a free, safe location for their kids to come out and play, get free lunch, get outside of the house, get out from in front of the TV or the iPad, and have fun in our parks. And it's a program that we're very proud of, and I hear it time and time again that the community is just so thankful for us hosting this program, and it's just really exciting to see each year. So some additional information in here regarding demographics, and this just continues to show how important it is for us to provide this camp. Over 80% of the households that attend JUCO are in the $26,000 to $50,000 a year income kind of threshold. So this camp provides them access to childcare that they may not otherwise be able to provide for their families, and access to recreational equipment that they may not have. So continues to just show how important this camp is. We've got some additional demographics in here if you have any questions on them. Otherwise, I'm sure you'll take time later to read through that. Our arts and crafts, Crafty Carol came back to us this year. She continues to amaze me every year, coming up with new innovative crafts and things to keep the kids entertained. This year, we were able to take some of our old JUCO t-shirts and turn them into pillows, which was a new thing. I think we've got a picture of those up there in the middle. The kids absolutely loved them. They were all running around with Sharpies and having their friends from camp sign their pillows, and that was a really cool thing for them to take home. We also wanted to give back. You know, of course, we can't do any of this without our grant partners, one of which being Reed Community Health. So we took some time to write get well cards for some of the long-term patients at Reed and delivered those out to the hospital to hopefully bring a smile to their day. Thanks to that partnership with Reed, specifically, we brought in a new program this summer for our junior counselors. We saw an opportunity for this very vulnerable age group to give them something a little bit beyond what JUCO provides to the rest of the campers. We still wanted to get them involved in leading camp activities and learning leadership skills, but Reed Community Health Engagement was able to come in and provide some life skills trainings to the junior counselors, including sun and heat safety. They did a presentation on healthy eating, physical activity, and water safety. And in that, so the junior counselors all got to go to one location and learn all about these great topics. And then they were able to present these topics to the younger campers, and they absolutely loved it. They had a lot of fun with it, and the younger campers really enjoyed learning from their peers. So we look forward to expanding that program even further next year. The field trips we took this year, we went out to Middle Fork Reservoir for a day and enjoyed the park out there. We went to Hayes Arboretum, the Joseph Moore Museum, and of course to the Wayne County 4-H Fair, where they got to walk around and see the animals and free snow cones and enjoy the day out there. Since the 4th of July fell on a Friday this year, which would typically be a field trip day for us, but we couldn't have camp due to the holiday, we decided that week to do something fun at each of the site locations, and we did a talent show at each site. So early in the summer, the kids were presented with this, and it was optional, but I'd say about 80% of the campers did participate in it. And we had kids doing everything from dances to comedy shows to a couple of kids just got up and showed us how to work a Rubik's Cube. It was a blast. And so each site got to do a 4th of July party on the day before the 4th of July. And they did a fireworks craft. We had some extra treats that day. And one site even did a Revolutionary War reenactment, which just got a little crazy. So they had a blast, though. I'm always just so amazed by our staff that we bring in for JUCO. You know, every day they're able to come in with something new and innovative and fun for the kids. And even though the days are long and they're hot, They continue to bring the fun every single day, and so we couldn't have had a better summer. I don't think. I think the only thing that worked against us a little bit was the heat on a few of the days. Kind of hard to get away from that, but luckily we were able to enjoy the pool on a lot of those days. And we wrapped up with our annual carnival at Glen Miller Park. So we had a large bounce house obstacle course that day. We had face painting. We had a large tug of war competition. Then the traditional getting to pie their favorite counselors in the face, and just a good time out there. So we wrapped up the first part of camp with that carnival. And right before we went into Little JUCO and JUCO Rocks. Those two camps continue to, be 2-week-long programs. We keep those at the parks. We don't do the field trips and the pool days with those kids, but they were able to enjoy. The Richmond Fire Department came out several times and did water spray days, and they were still able to enjoy all the fun and arts and crafts and games of JUCO. So we were really lucky to receive grants this summer from Drug Free Wayne County, the STAM Coachline Family Foundation, United Way of Whitewater Valley funded us for JUCO Rocks specifically, and then Kiwanis and Reed Health Community Engagement. Definitely could not do any of this without those partnerships. And then our community partners, as I mentioned, our field trip locations, and then we also had a lot of involvement from the Richmond Fire Department and the Richmond Police Department, as well as the JC House. It looks like their logo got left off of here, so I wanted to give them a shout out. They came out during our staff training, and they provided some really valuable information to our staff regarding child abuse reporting and just awareness. So I will be sure to update this with their logo because they're a great partner as well. So any questions on JUCO?
With Vail being such low attendance, is there anything that you can think of as you go for next year to
Definitely.
work on trying to increase that area?
Yeah, we're already starting to think about that. We're actually lucky. One of our JUCO returning counselors is now a teacher out at Vail, so she has already offered. We're working with her to get more information out to those families earlier. And not just that, but kind of figuring out a way to keep the kids coming back. And I think that's the big thing is once we get them registered, we still need to make sure that they're getting back over there each day. So we're going to work with Vail exclusively to try to target that neighborhood and make sure everybody's got the information about JUCO and find out if there's anything we can do, even if it's by surveying some of them, and find out what can we do to get more kids registered at that site. Definitely.
Other questions?
Great job.
Thank
Thanks.
you. And then also, I've got the rest of my notes there for community rec events coming up. I want to highlight we're calling it Fall in Love with Middle Fork Family Nature Day. That's going to take place on Saturday, September 27th. Would love to see all of you out there. We are going to spend a whole day in the park, and we've built this around the last free DNR fishing day of the year. It'll also be the last weekend that Middle Fork is open for the year. So we're hoping to get a lot of families out there to enjoy a free fishing day. We are going to do a kids catch and release fishing derby for ages 4 to 17 with prizes and all kinds of fun stuff. Our trails team is going to be doing guided trail hikes through the park. We've got a lot of activities at the Hills Bark Park planned. We're going to be doing some pumpkin painting and other kids' crafts out by the playground. Jim is offering discounted boat rentals that day. We're going to be handing out free popcorn at the service center and really just trying to highlight all parts of Middle Fork Reservoir. So we're really hoping to get a lot of the community out that day. And then just gearing up for our fall events, and also wanted to highlight that we did hire a programming and events coordinator. Her name is Sierra Hobbs. She started with us last Tuesday, so she's been there about a week and a half now, and she's doing a great job. So she was scheduled out today, but I will be sure to have her here soon to say hello, and you'll get to meet her. But she's doing a great job.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board concerns and comments? Delegation and correspondence. Council approved BOT delivery method.
Yes, I just wanted to highlight the fact that council did approve the BOT delivery method, and so just wanted to remind you that we will be going forward with that with the gorge projects going forward. So didn't know if you had any questions regarding that.
September, October events.
And those are included as a link, and they are just a list so that you have what's going on in our parks. And wanted to make sure that I had that for you.
Okay, old business. Parks and Recreation, 2026 proposed budget tabled until 9/11, and it is 9/11.
Yes. So I have Tracy here just to answer any questions regarding our reverting funds, and then I can take on, and she can kind of help me with any other questions that you might have on non-reverting funds. But I did include an estimated fund balance sheet there that we talked about from Baker Tilly, and then just a synopsis of the 2025-2026 balances, just information, just to highlight kind of what it looks like in terms of taxes and what the circuit breakers and things are. So I tried to kind of give you as much information as possible, but I will have Tracy kind of go over a little bit of government accounting in case she has anything that she wants to say. But we have been working kind of hard on this budget. As you know, last month we had to table it just because we had some errors, and we've been trying to fix some things and find some funds. And so we've been working really hard on that, and Tracy's been making some huge efforts. And so I really appreciate that. I wanted to thank her publicly for that, even up till today. So I really appreciate how she is willing to work with other departments and department heads and to find ways to make things work. So that is very helpful, and I'm very grateful for that. So thank you, Tracy.
One of the things I'd like to point out is that in the budget, you had mentioned revenue. One of the things that we have been very successful at as a city is having budget savings. So in other words, we're not spending everything that we have budgeted. So that has made a big difference over the last 5 or 6 years. We usually come in anywhere, usually between 90 and 98% of the budget, so we always have a little bit of savings. So we're hoping that's going to help not only the park, but also all the departments that we work on budgets for. This has been a very challenging year. We had the state legislatures impose SB 1. That has hurt us a lot. In fact, one of the items, and I believe, Denise, didn't you give them the Baker Tilly thing? There's like $126,000 just SB 1 that we're losing just in parks. That's a lot of money. That could be used for a lot of different things. But we're really striving and looking for ways that we can save money. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer for you.
Bill?
Mr. Chairman, Tracy, where do we see that, the year-end savings? I never see a number for that, so.
I can actually produce a report for the end of year of 2024 that will show you what we budgeted, what we spent, and what the percentage was that we used,
Okay.
thus showing the savings.
And where does it go?
It's just money not used. Those funds remain in your cash balance.
Okay.
They're not spent.
All right.
And it's important, I would say, to continue to build your cash balance in all funds. I mean, that's exactly how we were able to purchase the equipment and the pole barn that we were able to do this year in 2025.
And you report on that somewhere. That is, I've heard that through the years about, well, we budget more than we spend, but I've never ever seen the number or a number.
Yeah,
that would.
I can produce a report out of our financial software that will give you the exact percentage of what was used
Okay.
versus your whole budget. So, yes, I can give you those numbers. I have them for 2024. They will not be available for 2025 until, of course, after the end of the year. But yes, we can,
Well,
can do that.
And I really want to just kind of, I guess, clarify the fact that we do not over budget. I'm not allowed to over budget. So I don't do, and I'm not allowed to budget for contingencies.
But I realize that
Yeah.
sometimes projects don't cost as much, or,
Yes.
you know, that's not the case probably anymore, but material used to not cost as much. So,
Yeah.
of course you,
Yeah.
anytime you're budgeting, you're estimating. And
Right.
if you say that there is money that you haven't spent, that you bring back, I'd love to know.
Right.
Absolutely.
that is.
Yeah, and-
I can do that report. If you'd like the 2024 numbers.
I don't know,
can
I
get
don't
those.
know that I need to know exactly, but ballpark would be great.
In fact, I think I have a report in my office that may have been produced by Baker Tilly that actually showed all those percentages, I think, for the last 7 or 8 years.
I'll stop in.
And I will say that in terms of parks for in our budget for the last 10 years that I've been here, we usually use to the penny. And, building materials we use to the penny, general supplies we use to the penny, and we could use more. So electric and sewer and water, I mean, those are funds that we, budget because we know what we used the previous year.
But you
So
also have gasoline where price is
Correct.
fluctuating.
that is where you see some fluctuation. The other fluctuation that sometimes we see are how many seasonals we're able to hire, and, part-time that we have in terms of part-time hours, things like that, we see some fluctuation. But we also aren't able to budget for any additions or improvements necessarily with our budget. That is all in programming. Those are all things that we raise money for. So those aren't things that we budget in our operations costs. So I just want to clarify that for at least the public.
The Parks Department has their grants, of course, that they apply for and get to help pay for certain items. And another important aspect, and Denise is fantastic at this, is getting donations. Donations is a separate fund. It's not part of the budget, so she's able to use those funds when she sees fit to cover different items that, it just helps. It helps a
That
lot.
has the improvements or the additions, like I just discussed, or the programming.
And the gifts and donations that the city receives throughout the city is very much appreciated by every department.
Absolutely.
And aren't donations usually specific? They're
Yes.
aimed at. a
Usually
specific-
restricted, but
So
we
it's
have-
not like you get a $10,000 donation you can use on anything you want.
I will say we have a lot of generous donors who sometimes will say, please use this as you see fit.
Oh, well,
And so there's a lot of generous donors. I mean, there's some donors who, and I'm not saying it's in upwards of $10,000, but we do have some funding that comes in yearly that we definitely appreciate. Most of them are project-driven. Most of them are if we're running a capital campaign. So that's
Like one specific part.
one,
but not-
one specific park. We have some funds that generate annual giving, and so we do appreciate that. So,
I do want to say, if I can, that we are very frugal, and we push, when Denise said we use it to the penny, we really push it as much as we can, so we're not just throwing money out there either. We push it as far as we possibly
Yeah.
can.
When you have a department that uses 98% of their budget, you can't get any better than that. That's a department that is looking out, they're looking at their pennies. They know what they need, that's what they're getting. Love to have more, of course.
so we
but-
don't have a lot of extra money that we don't spend.
Correct.
You-
But they're-
I thought
they're-
you just said we did.
Well, it depends on the department.
Yeah.
It could be anywhere from 90 to 98%, so.
Which is citywide. That's
Yes.
the entire
Yes.
city budget is 90 to 98. The
We
park-
don't sort it by department.
Right,
It's
the
done
park
by.
department is,
I just
you know
wanted to clarify
exactly
that.
what the
Yes.
number is.
I wanted to
Absolutely.
clarify that. It
Yes.
might not be our department. But, yeah, and I also just want to brag a little bit on our team. There's, this is a group effort, and, there's many people in the recreation division that also get grants and donations. They work very hard for that. And in our maintenance and floral division, they also work to get donations and just in maintenance with the the restroom building, they worked to find soffit that we had, you know what I mean? They didn't go out and buy some materials. They looked to see what we had in stock before they went out. And, so we do work really hard at checking our resources, first and what we have. So they're really good and resourceful, and I really appreciate that. But in terms of our budget, so I want to make sure that we go through that. Looking at the cash flow, just want to make sure that you see that the cash flow is the top line here, and 2204 is our park fund, and you'll see that on the front page, and you'll see that on the back. We'll show you all of that. You see the 2025, and then you've got the 2026 budget as well. So then when you turn it over, you can kind of see where we fall in line, where our cash balance will end at 2026. On this particular cash flow sheet, if everything is expended the way it is currently to date in 2025, and that means no cost savings, things like that, the way it looks like it's going to flow now, and then the way we've budgeted in 2026 at this current state, then we're gonna have an ending cash balance of 316, 674, if you can see that. So that ends us in an operating capital balance percentage of 9.35. Our goal is always 10%. I'm happy with 9 because it took us a while to get there. With the error that happened, I feel really good about this budget at this point. There might be still some changes, and we're still looking for other funding at this time, and so, we'll continue to press forward on that.
The big difference is what the cash, ending cash in 25 versus
Absolutely.
26.
Right.
That's-
And if you look at
that's
the
big
Baker Tilly
discrepancy.
estimates, you'll see that the cash balance is right at, very close to what they predicted, so.
Another year like that, and we'll be down to 0.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
So it's something that it definitely is a concern of mine, and, it's a reverting account, so therefore, it's something that is definitely, we're working together on as a city.
Yeah.
And then the next one here, do you have any other questions on the park fund for Tracy at all? Any concerns or questions? Okay.
No.
And we'll continue to build that cash balance as we can and do all the savings that we can as it allows.
Yeah, I will continue to work on each and every department up until the point we actually do our adoption. So it's going to be constantly changing.
It'll be fluid.
You present to council.
Committee as a
when?
whole on the 22nd. I'm the first evening at the end, and anyone's welcome to come. I would love for that support, and it'll be right here in council chambers. And so it starts at 6:30, so I would say 7:30 or 8.
Any questions?
All right, so I have, what do you have next on you have 4403? Or 22? What do you have as your next paper?
Next, the new business?
No, for your non-reverting, if you want to go over golf.
Oh,
You want
yeah,
to go over golf?
yeah.
Okay, so obviously, these non-reverting accounts are what you oversee as the park board. So to review golf real quick in the cash flow, you see that if they receive all of their revenue as it is today, and if we budget the way we budget 2026, they'll have an ending cash balance of $59,828,000 with a operating cash balance percentage of 8.81%.
Where's that?
2211. And the detail for golf is on the next page.
2211.
2211 is the golf.
In the top left-hand corner, Bill.
I never,
And you will see on the right-hand side, any changes are in red. And really, we've just tried to be as frugal as possible with golf and make sure that they're staying afloat. And they're doing a great job with the spray practices and keeping the spray practices going. And believe we'll have some potential cost savings at the end of the year potentially. And we're still reviewing what the revenues are gonna look like. It's really hard to budget a golf season that starts in April and June. And so we do our best.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
how about the drought that we are in?
Yes.
Is that costly to the
Yes.
Parks Department and the Parks budget?
It's not only costly, it's scary. But yes, we're hand watering, we're watering as much as we can out there. And we're also, we've contacted our chemical specialist to provide additional chemical so that, a wetting agent, for our greens. If a green checks out, it's $20,000, to replace that. So we continue to, make sure that we're doing everything we can to continue to keep them wet and keep them where they need to be. Now, again, we have a long way to go. We've had some issues on those greens for a couple years. So we'll continue to make as many strides as we can. So there's still they need to be babied, and we just verticutted them. We'll also be pulling plugs this fall. And in the aerification process, that helps them tremendously. And we'll continue to do everything we can to make sure they're manicured and well taken care of.
Where do we see that in the budget? Is there a line item that reflects, I saw there was,
So you see the
Water.
contractual budgets, and when you see contractual in the detail, that's where you'll see the aerification. And when you see the supply line is where the chemicals come out of. Most of our contractual, it is really taking care of any irrigation issues that we can't take care of ourselves, where we have to have automatic irrigation out on something that we can't manage. And then the contractual issues are the aerification in the spring and the fall. While they're here, we also have them hit Glenn Miller, so that we can save funds while they're here as well. We only do that in the fall, though. Any other questions for golf?
I have another question.
Okay.
I guess I'm looking at the Parks 2211 golf detail and looking at golf lessons. We budgeted $25,000, amended it and didn't amend it, but we've only spent $675.
It was an error. It should have been 2,500. So.
Or what? Where's the error?
So the error, it shouldn't have been 25,000. It
Oh,
should have been
oh.
2,500.
Okay, thank you.
So.
Any other questions? Then you got the fund.
Farmers Market.
Farmers Market.
Yep, 2416, which is Farmers Market. We've got a cash balance here of $27,586, and then a capital balance percentage of 29.5%. So it's looking good here for Farmers Market, the way we have it budgeted. So I'm pretty pleased with how the Farmers Market's doing. Any questions on the Farmers Market?
Questions?
All right, and then Widow Person Services, New Beginnings. We have a cash balance of $15,185.94 with a capital balance percentage of 67.50. They have a good cash balance here, and they operate on pennies. So with them being right under the senior recreation center, they utilize a lot of the senior recreation center's supplies and everything that they need, so they don't have a ton of needs there. And then the last, any questions on that one? And the last one would be our capital, non-reverting capital here, and obviously this is inactivated. We are trying to grow this one. This is if we sell any properties or have any capital needs, this goes in here. And if we need these funds, obviously there's only $13,437 here, or $13,437.33. Sorry about that. So there's not much, but we'd like to grow that. If there's any sale of properties or any large funding that we need to put in here, we'd like to continue to grow that.
Is that McBride?
This was any funds left from McBride, and so we've been utilizing it for our diamond number one.
And then the money from the sale of,
Berryfield?
yeah, thanks.
The sale of Berryfield went directly to the new docks at.
That's what I
Fort,
thought,
And it was $23,000. There was nothing left. Any questions on the non-reverting funds?
Nope.
I would like for the board to take action, if that's okay, just because I think that it's important that the board have a say and an approval on the non-reverting funds that you review and that you're over. I think it's important. We always approve those, and that's why it's an old business.
Would entertain a motion for approval of the non-reverting funds budget.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's
New business?
Huh?
New business?
business, yeah.
We have two items of new business. We have the approval of temporary land easement at Bridge 716 and the amount of $11,900 at Waterfall Road. This is a bridge that needs done in a very bad way. And so this is something that we really don't have control over, but it is part of our land that needs an easement. And so as the board, you have the right to approve this or deny this easement. And I can answer any questions, but you have a whole folder here to review regarding the easement, and I'm sure you've reviewed that. There's a warranty deed and information regarding the easement in this area.
Any questions or comments?
Pretty straightforward.
Entertain approval of the temporary land and easement at the Bridge 716 in the amount of $11,900.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Change order?
So this is a change order for change order number 3. And this is for the Whitewater Gorge Test Road Trailhead improvements. And this actually is for our change of our concrete that we needed to reassess down to the kayak launch area. Originally, it was a decomposed granite that we were originally going to put on the steps to walk down to the kayak launch area, and we reevaluated that and determined that a lower maintenance option would be a concrete option. So I reviewed a few concrete options and feel that this is the best way forward for a lower maintenance way that would also stay in place with the water that rises in that area on a number of occasions. So this is a change order in the amount of $26,025 even. And this will really serve us well in this capacity to walk down. It'll be a stamped concrete. It'll look pretty natural. It'll have some grooves and crevices in it. And it'll be a colored concrete as well. So I've reviewed it and picked it out, and I feel really good about how it's gonna look going forward and that we won't have anything washing out. So That is change order number 3.
Entertain motion to approve the change order number 3 for the Gorge Activation Project in the amount of $2625.
Now, order number 2 on the,
Well, she just said it was 3.
It's 3, I apologize.
okay, so that's just an error. Okay, but it is number 3. So move.
Is there a
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's it. Any other business?
I just wanted to draw your attention, we have a couple other things. We do have this book that the Star Jeanette Foundation did for their Walk of Fame, if anyone's interested in looking at that. And then we did do a historical marker that is finally in, and that's very exciting. It is a historical marker for the Walk of Fame, and so we'll get that installed, and we will have a dedication for that. So I will let you know when we have that date set. So be prepared for a ribbon cutting and dedication for that, and that will be down at Star Jeanette. That is all I have.
Anybody else?
Nothing?
Entertain a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
It's pretty cool.
A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned.
I'm not gonna.